Hey guys, it's the Nerdy Movie Guy. So today I'm going to talk about The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Now, this movie is one I wanted to see last year when it was in theaters. For some reason, I never got around to it, but I picked it up. I have it on physical now. Finally popped it in, and I gave it a watch. This one was really, really cool. I've seen some vampire movies. I haven't seen all that many. What I've seen, this might be one of my favorites. It was actually really, really cool. And the thing that surprised me is I had to do the research because I wanted to know. Dracula in this movie is mostly CGI. I thought that maybe it was a guy, maybe it was practical effects, but he was mostly CGI. Why that surprised me is how good the CGI looks in this movie. This movie, I think, should be a very prime example that if dedicated and worked hard on, CGI can look really, really good. It doesn't have to look crappy or fuzzy or blurry like maybe standard blockbusters have it look like now. But this proves that it can look really, really cool, intimidating, creepy, and a little scary. So this movie is a testament to that. The CGI can be really, really cool. It proves it. So in this movie, you have it's not really a prequel. It's an origin story. And it's so much of an origin story that I don't know if it has been done before, if a movie's been made with his origin like this. If it has, I think it's been an extremely long time. Maybe this is the first one. I haven't done enough research, but I know there's rarely an origin for Dracula. So in this movie, it is his last voyage on the Demeter over to England. And so in this movie, we get to see this collection of characters that it doesn't spend too much time delving into their stories, but you get enough to know who you're rooting for, who you're not, who might be the likely to die, who would be likely to betray the others. You get a sense for who the characters are, and they spend some time letting the audience get to know the characters, but it doesn't take too long till Dracula does appear. So that was one of the strong points in this movie for me, was the pacing. As you would expect, as we've seen in the trailers, Dracula is killing people one by one, and you know it's coming toward the end. But with this movie, it is paced so well that you know exactly what the plot is. It's clear as day, and it's building toward its climax. So with that being said, movies that have a clear, fine plot that's building towards climax sometimes get lost in the middle with long explanation scenes, maybe relationship between certain characters that last 2 minutes afterwards. There's a lot of just unnecessary scenes filled into some movies like that with the plot, with this sort of pacing. This movie didn't do that though. Whenever you're getting to know characters more, it's quick and it matters and it affects the characters in the scenes and in the next one. So to me personally, I didn't feel like there was anything unnecessary in this movie. There wasn't any unnecessary side plots, side stories, or just anything else thrown in there. Everything it made sense and it mattered to the movie's overall plot and ultimately its ending. So I thought that was really well done. Now, for Dracula, what's cool is what's cool is most of the vampire movies, they're human until you see their fangs, or maybe their eyes turn different color, or maybe they're human but have wings. In Last Voyage of the Demeter, as you can see on the cover, and a little bit on the back, I think you see it better on the back. Of course, on the box you can see he does have wings still. However, my point is he's more animalistic. He's more of a creature than a person. And yes, there is a person to it. This isn't ignoring that aspect. This is just showing more of the creature form in this movie. And what's interesting is, since I watched the movies with the subtitles, I sort of had a forewarning, but unlike most horror movies, when the creature or killer or stalker or whoever it is approaching its prey, you usually see it filmed as if the camera is the eyes of the stalker or killer or creature, of slowly stalking and approaching whoever it is they're about to kill. It's different because you don't really see that. I think maybe once or twice in this movie do you see it filmed from the eyes of the creature. Most of the time, because I had the subtitles on, I could hear it, or I can tell it's coming, and then I can also hear it is there is growling or hissing. That's what the subtitles say. But whenever you hear that in the movie, that's when the characters know he's near. Obviously, as the traditional vampire lore goes, he only hunts at night. So when you hear the growling and hissing, that's their indicator that he is coming. And so it was cool to see because it kind of gives audience, not lore, that's not the right word, but it's just something unique and original that just sort of attempts to stand out from the traditional vampire movie or the traditional Dracula movie. So that's something that made it stand out as something unique, and it's something I appreciated from it. And of course, with these collection of characters, there is an interesting ending with what characters you do have left over, because it's not very many. It's a traditional slasher in the sense of the term, because you're getting less and less characters getting closer to the ending. Now with this, you do see his more humanoid form, just briefly though. So it's enough to be included, but not enough to be more than what this is. Because as I said, it being mostly CGI, they wanted to look like a creature for the most part, and that's exactly what it looked like. This movie did a really good job. Going back to the pacing, is when certain characters are killed off, or certain characters are sort of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just the relationship between the characters just keeps you on edge, because you don't know who's going to betray who, and you don't know who's going to try to abandon ship or ruin their ultimate plans. It's just, it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat because you don't know who Dracula's going after next. You don't have a pattern for his hunting, who his target is, but you also have no idea how the humans are reacting to each time there is an attack or a kill. So this movie's definitely suspenseful, it's definitely intense, and for me, I was on the edge of my seat most of this movie. I watched it at night. It's definitely better, given that Dracula hunts at night. More than half the movie does take place at night, so if you're trying to watch it during the day with the light on, it's going to be harder to see. So I would just recommend this being a night watch. If not, I would just make sure you have some good lighting to see it, because it is really dark scenes. But if watching it in the dark, it's going to look a lot better. I did not watch the alternate opening, but there is an alternate opening. When the menu came up, I just hit play, just dove into it, but there is an alternate opening for it, so you can check out special features. These are just the things added in collector's editions, which basically just means physical movie. That's how I interpret it. So overall, I really did like this movie. I was still just completely blown away to realize that most of it's CGI, but I think it looks really, really good. If you're skeptical, I would at least give it some time. Watch maybe a third of the movie, see what you think. And if not, then you gave it a chance. But I gave it a chance. I liked it a lot. It was just violent enough to not be overbearing, but enough to earn its R rating. So this movie is definitely, it's a horror movie kids can see if they're used to seeing horror movies, because it's not grotesque. There's not much gore. It's just violent. The kills are violent and it's bloody. That's about as far as it goes. So I liked it. If you guys end up watching it, let me know in the comments. I want to know what you think, because I just haven't heard anything about this. I don't hear people talking about it, and I think it's a shame, because this was a really cool standout for me, especially compared to all of the great movies that came out last year. So let me know. I like this movie a lot. I hope you guys will too. As always, keep it digging, and thanks for watching.